Thanks for watching Focus on Jensen Beach. I'm Ron Rose, Executive Director of the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce, and on today's show we'll be visiting the James D. Holt Law Enforcement Center. We'll be talking to Sheriff Bob Crowder, and we'll also be taking a tour of the Marin County Jail. But we're going to start out the show today at the construction site of the new Young Prill Funeral Home, which is being built right outside of Stewart near Hobe Sound. As you can see, the construction's going on behind me, and we're going to be talking to Jim Young, who used to be a board member of the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce, and his partner, Charles Prill. Joining me are the owners of Young Prill Funeral Home, Jim Young and Charles Prill. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Well, now, who wants to take this question? How in the world did you all get started in the funeral home business?
Well, I don't want to go through that whole story. However, I met Jim and I saw that he had a desire to do something in life which never came through. It was someone to help him to get started. And I saw enough in this boy to give him a helping hand. This is how we met.
All right, well, that's a great story. Now, Jim, what's your background in the funeral business?
Well, Ron, I'm a graduate from Miami-Dade Community College down in Miami, where I received an AS degree in mortuary science. I've been in the funeral business for 11 years. My family is in the funeral business in Vero Beach and in Sebastian.
Tell us a little bit about the facility they're building back here. How many square feet is it going to be?
Well, the facility's 5,100 square feet. We have a chapel that accommodates 100 people. And we also have a repose room, a selection room, a preparation room, and a coffee area.
Now, this is a locally owned and operated funeral home.
Right. I have something that I jotted on a piece of paper, if I may read this.
Sure.
Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve. Dreams, great dreams, and make them come through. To accomplish great things, you must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. If you don't go out on a limb, you will never get to the fruit. There is no failure except in no longer trying. Hazy goals produce hazy results. Defect may test you, but it not need to stop you. Wishing will not bring success, but planning, persistence, and a burning desire will. Success is an attitude. Get yours right. This was by Norman Vincent Peale, of which I spent quite a bit of time with, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. This is part of his belief.
Well, you know, I've been to his church. He's a great man.
Fantastic man. I was in his home.
I understand you're going to try to get him for the grand opening.
I'm going to try very hard, but he's 92, but he's still on his feet.
Well, it's exciting at the possibility, I can tell you that.
Yeah, thank you.
So when do you expect this, Jim, when do you expect this funeral home to be open and operating?
Well, Ron, we're hoping that in September we can have our grand opening. Okay,
now, as you all had mentioned earlier, Jim used to be on the board of directors of the Jensen Beach Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, sir. I've been very active here locally with the, I'm past president of the Jensen Beach Kiwanis. I served on the board of directors of the Jensen Beach Chamber, and also I'm the past president of the Tri-County Funeral Directors Association.
Well, this is an exciting venture here, an opportunity, and I want to thank you both for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
Ron, we appreciate you having us. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All righty. Now, don't you all go away, because we'll be talking to Sheriff Bob Crowder right after this.
Hi-ho, Mr. Comparison here on safari with Tri-County Gas, searching for the energy savings you'll find when you dare to compare. It starts here. Cook 2 meals compared to 1 cooked with electricity. Heat 2 gallons of water compared to 1 with electricity. Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Convenient outdoor cooking. And nothing heats your pool or spa as fast as propane gas. Stop by our showroom to see the Treasure Coast's largest and most complete line of gas appliances.
Welcome back. We're in Sheriff Bob Crowder's office in the James D. Holt Law Enforcement Center. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Thank you, Ron. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, how have you reorganized the sheriff's office since you have become sheriff of Martin County, and how many people are employed here now?
Basically, we've taken the organization and divided into its three major components, which are law enforcement, corrections, and judicial and administration. There's a total of 446 employees now. That includes part-timers. And roughly 60% of our personnel are assigned to law enforcement and law enforcement support functions, 36% to corrections and the jail functions, and the remaining 3.5% are in judicial, providing court security and bailiff functions for our court system here in Martin County.
Now, talking about the budget, how big is the budget here at your office, and what's your plans for the upcoming budget for 93-94?
The current budget is approximately $20.6 million. About 35% of that is dedicated to operating the jails. That's roughly $7.1 million. 63% or $13 million approximately to law enforcement, and only 2%, less than $500,000, for the court-related and bailiff functions. We've been doing some movement of funds from capital outlay to personal services and that sort of thing to help us stretch this money out and provide more service for the same amount of money, because my goal is to go into the coming budget year with the same amount of money as we're operating this year. But I've got to, at the same time, provide broader services and increased services to the public. So we've got a lot of fact finding to do, a lot of belt tightening to do, and a lot of stretching to do to provide more services for the same amount of money.
What are some of the new programs you have started to increase and improve the services to the people of Martin County?
There are many services that we have started, many additional programs we've started, and some of those that come to mind is the DARE program. DARE is an acronym for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. And the drug abuse problem impacts on us in so many ways. It of course damages our young people and drastically contributes to crime. And to prevent this, we need to start by focusing on our young people. And drug abuse resistance education is a copyrighted program that requires specially trained officers to put on this training for our school children. And we have trained one of our school resource deputies in this. We had to send him away for 2 weeks of training. He's back now and conducting this education in our school system for our children, and we think that that will have an impact on the future of these children with regard to drug abuse. We think it will deter that. Canine is another program that that we felt was necessary here in Martin County. Canine adds to the services that we can provide in patrol and crime prevention. An officer with a canine dog can more effectively search an open building where there might be a burglar, and it's safer for the deputies. The dogs can be used searching for lost children, apprehending fleeing felons. They're good in public relations program because it's important for us to bring law enforcement and our deputies closer to the people they serve. And of course, if you ever see one of our public relations program using the canine deputies with school children, you'll see that it's very useful in helping us to get to know the children better and helping the children to get to see law enforcement officers and their canine associates as friends.
Well, we're going to have to talk about having a demonstration like that at next year's Pineapple Festival.
Sure, hopefully we'll be ready and be glad to do that.
Great.
Another program we've started, we're one of probably less than 6 counties in the state that has law enforcement personnel assigned to environmental crimes. That's a big thing in our state today. There are certain methods of disposing of hazardous materials that jeopardize our water supply, and we now have laws making this irresponsible action felonies, and we in law enforcement have the authority to enforce these laws and to investigate the crimes when these things are discovered. And we have a deputy who's been trained and will be assigned to working full-time on the environmental crimes. Accreditation is another program that we have begun, and it's an appropriate time to do that at the change of administration when we're rewriting policy manuals and procedures. And this will help us to show that we meet the current national standards for law enforcement agencies, and it will measure our effectiveness. It will help us to find and avoid certain liability issues, and I think will give the people of Martin County a confident feeling that they are getting their money's worth and the best quality of law enforcement service that they can expect. Crime prevention is a big thing. We've trained 2 deputies in some of the crime prevention programs. One is assigned currently full-time to working with neighborhoods and organizations and providing crime prevention training. We hope to expand that in the future. Crime prevention, as we know, is really the first responsibility of law enforcement, and we have to do that by seeking the help of the public, educating the public, making the public more aware, and getting them involved with us in preventing crimes. Some other services that we've been asked for, and I think that will be very important, is involving the addition of substations. With the Roosevelt Bridge construction soon coming, we feel it necessary to have a substation, hopefully manned by volunteers in the North County area. We're looking at the possibility of having a substation like this in the vicinity of the Treasure Coast Mall. And we're talking with some of the other constitutional officers about going together so that with the inconvenience of the Roosevelt Bridge construction, the residents of Jensen Beach and the other Northeast County areas will not be prevented from or inconvenienced in receiving the services of county government. In the far South County, we also hope to have a substation for that pocket of residents who are somewhat isolated from the rest of the county there, so that we can give them the quality of service that they're entitled to.
What do you see as some of the more serious problems and challenges facing our community?
Well, drugs, of course, is a major problem facing communities all over the country. Drug feeds our crime problem. It detracts from the quality of life. It splits families. It wastes resources. It's just a horrendous problem in our society today. So we're doing all that we can. As I mentioned, the DARE program. We're participating in other programs in the community to fight drugs. We have quite a concerted effort going on in some of our neighborhoods that have been identified as problem areas where drugs are being sold. And we want to effectively crack down on this and make it much less desirable for drug dealers to traffic in this area. Our interdiction effort on the interstate highway we've got to continue, where drugs are trafficked primarily north into this county and the northern areas, and the cash that is used to purchase these drugs is usually traveling south. And so we have to work with state and federal agencies in interdicting these drugs and the cash involved. Another problem that we're challenged by is the availability of funds to support our services. We all know the current economy and the problems we're going to have providing tax dollars. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. Many people are out of work. We anticipate that some property values will decline, and yet the cost of providing service continues and continues to rise. So we're challenged with finding ways to stretch the money, to do more with less, and I think all government officials are going to be faced with that challenge, and we must rise to that and show that through innovative management and more cost-effective ways of handling things, we can provide more and better service without increasing the cost of that. In law enforcement, we're heavily impacted by the rising crime rate, which I feel and many other law enforcement leaders feel is due to the early release system in our state prisons. Over the years, as Florida has grown from a state of 5-6 million to 7-8 million and now to 13 million people, our state prison system has not grown to accommodate that growth in population. As a result of this, the state has enacted sentencing guidelines to hold the judges back in sending people to state prison, and now they've had to implement a great deal of provisional release credits and so forth to get people out of the prison system more quickly, because we're in the state of Florida, we're sending roughly 1,000 people a month to the state prison system, and they're releasing them at the same rate. As a result of this, most convicted criminals are serving 17 to 20% of the stated sentence. So they're back in our communities frequently within a few months of being sent to the state prison. And not only are they back in the community, but they're back in our county jails again on new crimes. So we must protect society by and deter crime by having meaningful sentences, so that when someone is sentenced to 5 years in prison, he'll serve 5 years in prison, not be back in our county jail on a new criminal charge in a few months. We need to get our legislature to fund the increase in our state prison system. Otherwise, they're shifting state responsibility that should be paid for and provided by state tax resources onto the backs of local taxpayers, and it impacts and increases our ad valorem taxes.
What are some of the current crime statistic trends in Martin County, and how can people avoid being victims of crime?
Well, this past year in Martin County, our population did increase by 2%, but our crime rate increased by 10%. I don't like those numbers, and I'm challenged to do something about that in the coming year. As I look at the state's crime rate, basically we in some areas are just opposite to the state's trend. The state had an increase, a decrease in murder, an increase in rape, a decrease in robbery, an increase in aggravated assaults with deadly weapons. The state experienced a decrease in burglary, a decrease in larceny or theft crimes, and an increase in motor vehicle theft. We've been just the opposite in most of those areas. We've had increases in rape, crimes involving sex. We've had a drastic increase in robbery and aggravated assault. We've had a decrease. We had only 3 murders last year instead of 5. But those small crimes such as murder, where there's a small number, relatively speaking, each year, will fluctuate. I think for the last 20 or 30 years, Martin County's murder rate has fluctuated between 2 and 10 a year from one year to the next. It's hard to explain the cause of that, but generally these are related to domestic violence, and crimes in the home are contributed to by drugs, by unemployment, by a number of other factors other than what we might traditionally think of as criminal causes. To keep from becoming a victim of crime, we think it's very important for people to not become so paranoid that they lock themselves in their homes. That's not necessary. But people have to realize that they must be responsible for their property, they must be responsible for their conduct. Just being alert, using common sense and good judgment with locking your home, locking your vehicle. Don't be irresponsible and tempt thieves by leaving valuables out where they can be easily taken. Most criminal acts are the result of an opportunity. And if we work to prevent these opportunities, we can reduce crime, make it harder for criminals to commit these acts. And of course, one of the big ways that we're pushing in the community to help people prevent becoming a victim of crime is to participate in one of our crime prevention programs, whether it's a neighborhood crime watch or a personal protection class that we'll be putting on in the future for our citizens.
Well, listen, thank you for being on Focus on Jensen Beach.
My pleasure.
Look forward to many of the programs and the things that you talked about today. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Make Stewart Business Systems your headquarters for all your equipment needs, from desktop facsimile to plain paper facsimile, from desktop copiers to full copier systems, computers, printers, typewriters, and more. Of course, Stewart Business Systems provides a full line of supplies. Professional on-site services. Stewart Business Systems is locally owned and operated. Visit our showroom at North Shore Plaza or call 692-2100.
Welcome back. With me is John Forte, who is the Director of Corrections here at the James D. Holt Corrections Center. Welcome to Focus on Jensen Beach.
Thank you, Ron.
Now, what is exactly the Director of Corrections' job?
Well, I guess that's a good way of saying you're in charge of the entire facility and all the lives contained in the jail.
And where are we standing right now?
We're in the Sally Port of the jail right now.
And you said that this could even accommodate a Greyhound bus.
You could take 3 Greyhound buses, yes.
Okay, now, John's going to take us on a tour here of the jail.
That after you're offloaded in the Sally Port, we bring you in here. We'll simply give you a pat down to see if you're carrying any weapons. We're not doing a strip search or anything like that. Just a quick pat down for weapons. We're in the intake area when a deputy sheriff will come and ask you to take everything out of your pocket, sort of thing, and you'll probably be patted down again. And all the paperwork will be filled out, what we're removing from you, etc., and you will be asked to sign it. And you'll be given a copy of that. And from there, it'll go into your personal property locker. Ron, as you know, every person coming in here for whatever reason, we routinely check. We run a background check and see if you are wanted. And unfortunately for you, I want to introduce Corporal Lugo, who's going to execute an outstanding warrant. So, Ron.
Oh, well, I don't know if I should welcome you to focus on Jensen Beach or not.
Welcome, Ron. Major, is there a warrant for his arrest?
Cut. You're gonna have to do this with the microphone on, because I. So now where do we go from here?
Now, sir, we're going to place you into a holding cell.
Stay tuned.
Have a seat, sir.
Okay, well, we're going to be taking a break right now until I find out what's going on, so don't go away.
For children growing up, the world is fresh and new, with loving parents there to guide them and make difficult times easier. That's why thoughtful parents invest in a pre-need trust funeral plan. Makes sense financially, and it lessens everyone's pain at life's most difficult time. Call Acock Funeral Homes, serving the Treasure Coast with 4 locations, to explain their pre-arrangement plan. It's the most thoughtful thing you'll ever do.
Medium set, Sarge. Medium set.
I'll pick this up.
Oh, no, I'm going to take it in the shower room. Okay. Okay. Sir, into the shower room. At this time, sir, I'd like you to undress, take all your clothes off, and take a shower.
Now, we have the microphone. Then we'll put the cuffs back on.
Yeah, put the cuffs on. This time, sir, I'm going to take you down to a housing unit where you will be housed. Up, we'll go with a 10-15. Identify. We'll go with a 10-15. Straight ahead, sir. Corporal Lugo with a 10-15.
Okay, now we're...
Okay, we're going to go right into one. One is a completely vacant cell, doesn't have a mattress or anything.
No, that's not the focus. Okay?
Where it is, I'm going to sell one, 8 more, I'm going to sell one, 1, 2.
Well, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here. I guess you're going to have to tune in next week to find out if I'm still here. I hope I'm not. But anyway, we'll see you next week.
Do you mean Mike?
Sit there like this.
Yeah. Can we close the door?
Control, cell 1, 2.